Tuesday, August 23rd, 2025. We're at Riverhead, New York, on the Long Island Railroad's main line. We're here to attend the Railroad Festival at the Railroad Museum of Long Island over here. And besides, the MTA had brought over its SW 1001, number 101, as a part of the festivities here. For both this day and tomorrow will be Railroad Festival here at the Railroad Museum of Long Island. And the MTA was very proud to donate this newly restored heritage livery, SW 1001, number 101, built in 1977 by EMD. We're taking a look at the admissions gate, which is a temporary setup during Railroad Festival here. We have a raffle over here and the admissions. Steve at the very far end there, taking the admissions by the cash register.
Hanging out at the one and well, there's two, but to me there's one. Don't you see it that way, John? I don't know how you see it.
Fix that. There, now we're talking.
Yeah, we got it going now. I had friends, so everybody can dance as wild thing. I'm in competition with the train whistle.
I'm telling you. Yeah. Well, you're in a fine spot to see the official Long Island Railroad Hawks train from the 64-65 World's Fair. Come by. Right here with the WLNG family, out here on the deck, and the train goes right past us at the straight crossing. So those of you on WLNG family, you can probably hear the bell ringing on the warning, and you can hear the horn as it goes by. And every time you hear that horn, family, there is a trainload of happy riders here at the Riverhead Railroad Festival. And if you can't make it down here today and take a ride and hear that horn yourself in person, come down tomorrow, because we'll be here tomorrow from 10 to 4. But our WLNG family's not going to be with us tomorrow.
No, we would love to. Tomorrow there's a car show. There's something going on out here every weekend.
Isn't it wild? The whole East End, the North and the South.
We're back here on the North Shore tomorrow, in the South. Back up on the North Shore, in the South. And we'll be there for the car show. We'll be over at the right there on the main road in South Road at the American Legion.
At the American Legion tomorrow. Yeah, I was through there this morning, real early. They've got all the snow fences set up over there, Bill. They are ready for a car show. A whole back section where they've got that great big parking area out under the trees on Huckle's Lane, right, main road, just west of the village. American Legion, Post 803. I'm going to tell Bill a story. I'm going to tell our WLNG family story. You don't know about me and the American Legion. But we want to get out to see the Grizzly Terry Club of Post 803, right? All right, shout out to Dave DeFries. He's the commander over there, a very good friend. We grew up together. And actually, I used to run on the ambulance with him and his dad back in the day. Right. They were volunteer ambulances. We ran an ambulance out of the funeral home over there, the Priest Funeral Home. And so I mean, Southold history, we're there. And so you want to go over and see that car show in Southold tomorrow. And then on your way back, stop in to see us. Right here on 416 Griffin Avenue at Riverhead. And we'll be here from 10 to 4 tomorrow with the Riverhead Festival. But you got to get out and see that car show. And I got to see Dave tonight, because we have a special drawing that's going to come up on December 14th. You like cars, Bill?
Love them.
You like them?
The more the merrier.
So, Charlie Burnham says hi. From WABC.
Yeah, right. I love Charlie. Worked with Charlie for years. I couldn't have got on the air without Charlie.
And right, he is one hell of a technician.
Yes, he's crazy.
He is one heck of a technician.
Yeah.
Good friend.
Love Charlie. He fixed my weather equipment so many times.
You always tell me you guys dropped the wireless mics in the puddles when you're out in the rain.
No, I can't believe
I can relate to that. I was a sound guy for a lot of years, so I can relate to it.
No, I would wear a wireless mic and I would go to Coney Island to be with the polar bears. And they would go, let's run into the water. And I would stand there on the beach with the polar bears, all the old Russians, and they did that every day. They did it for health reasons. And so we did it on New Year's Day. So one time, Charlie gives me all this equipment. I said, Charlie, I'm going to be by the water. He goes, Bill, please, whatever you do, you just take your gear off before you run into the ocean. We're at Coney Island, and it's at the end of the show, and the producer's telling me to hurry up, and I forget, and I go, follow me to freedom! And I run with all of those, the old Russians, and the women, and the men. We run into the water, and you hear me going, okay, we'll see you,
That's the end of it. The body pack went under the salt water. Yeah, see, I know these stories.
So I take it back, and Charlie holds it up, and the water is dripping out of it with rust. Salt water is not your friend. Charlie's great.
Good years at WABC and good years out here at WLNG. We're so glad to have you out here.
Well, you're very kind. Gary told me a story yesterday over the air. He said you and he used to do soccer.
Yes, we
live
did.
On WLNG.
Yeah, we did.
Soccer. Now that was back when soccer. You guys brought it to the forefront.
Well, Mattatuck and Southold were big competition on the North Fork. Mattatuck and Southold, big rivalry with the soccer teams back in the late 60s and the 70s. Yeah. So, and other schools, like on the South Fork, I know Senator Richards was a powerhouse. So you had schools throughout the WLNG listening area that were fantastic with soccer. So it was a thing. It was bigger than football back in the 60s and the early 70s.
Really?
Oh yeah. We had some real powerhouses. So yeah, you guys had come over. And the first time we did this, we ran a wire into the Southhold Fire Department because Paul City was a good bud.
Yeah.
He was covering the Southhold Fire Department. That would be great. And we're in business. You got to save a couple of dollars. And Bill knows about this. Ladies and gentlemen,
I have something called a mortgage.
In the old days of broadcasting, we would go to New York Telephone, and we would get a pair of copper wires that went from Southold at the firehouse for this story, all the way back to Riverhead, and then all the way over to Southampton. We owned those miles of copper wire from the beginning of the parade to the end of the parade. And they charged you by like the minute.
Yes, that's right.
And it was very expensive. So we don't do that anymore. We use codecs and we go out on cell phones. But back in the 70s, I said, you don't need to do that. Paul's like, what do you mean? I spent a lot of money with New York Town. I said, no. I said, let me run you a wire from here where you're going to set up with a mic and a mixer like we are here at the Railroad Festival today. I said, I'm going to run it up into that window. And I said, I'm going to hook it into the telephone. And I said, when it's time, I'm going to dial the station.
Right.
And Gary's going to pick it up on the board, the live, the live one.
Yeah.
The show was wonderful. He heard the band stuff, and they got away with it. It was just a question of a phone call. So there's my story.
How many times? Well, Steve, who's a great little listener of ours. Look at this picture.
Oh, yeah, we got a Paul
classic. That's a picture of Paul.
There he is.
And
God bless him.
I wish I had got to meet Paul. He's been gone 15 years now.
I know.
And I go by, Sandra and I go by his gravesite to say hi.
Great. I have some great stories from the radio around here from my younger days.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, he said he's the cornerstone of this place. He set it all up. We just want to continue that.
Well, and you're doing a great job.
Well, we're trying.
You're doing a great job. You're keeping it. My friends over in Connecticut radio we used to. They listen to WLNG in Connecticut. They really do. So when I hear you mention the Connecticut shoreline with the WLNG family, I know from my friends in Connecticut, they're listening. They're listening to Sag Harbor. It's wonderful because it is a big family. And my friends over there, we called back in the day, and we still do. We call WLNG Kitchen Radio.
Yep.
Because when you listen to WLNG, when Gary and Bill are on in the morning, and they get people calling in for Swap and Shop, and they're together, it's just like having some friend into your kitchen for coffee.
It is.
It really is.
Yeah.
And, stations change ownership. So, yeah, we were like, what's Bill Evans coming from ABC going to do with the station? Well, he has carried it along, and you listen, as part of our family, you know that Bill and his lovely wife. And it's Big Dogs Broadcasting.
It's Bark Out Loud
Bark
Dogs
Out Loud.
Media, LLC.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We'll take Big Dogs Broadcasting. We're the big
I'm
dog.
going to tell you, you know Jay Leno?
Yes, I do know, Jim.
I'm going to tell you about I still haven't finished the story about the Big Dog Garage.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got Dogs Bark Out Loud Media.
Yeah.
And the Big Dog Garage out in LA.
Right.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But
Yeah.
when you came in and you took over, we were worried, but Kitchen Radio continues on WLNG. And it is your hometown radio station. You're outstanding, you know, when you have a snowstorm, a hurricane coming, and of course, if you don't know, Bill's a great meteorologist.
It helps to be lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, because he gets paid no matter whether he's right or wrong.
Better to be lucky than good.
So, the station has maintained this great culture, and it is. It's kitchen radio for me, for all of our friends, because it's part of the family. You are at home with WLNG. And now I've got so many great members. You know, you're talking about Gary Sabian. We did the Shelter Island race run now.
Yeah.
Used to be the Shelter Island 10K. And with good friends from WABC, they brought out an old RMLI truck.
Yes.
And they would set up with the antenna way up on the boom, and Gary and I would ride around in Charlie's car,
Right.
and we would broadcast WLNG, footstep by footstep of the runners from all over the world. Right. We were out in front. I was driving, and Gary was sitting in the back with Cliff Clark, and it was blow by blow. We were there with you, and we would broadcast from Charlie's car. And our friends from Staten Island, WABC, Channel 7, they sat there with that ENG truck. That's an electronic news gathering truck for you folks that don't know. They would sit there and they would follow Gary and they would follow me all around the island with that antenna.
Yeah.
And we had perfect signal.
Right.
Dead quiet.
Was Charlie on that? Because
Charlie was
on
over
that.
by Gary and over by your...
Yeah. Because you had
Your
to
picture.
have those golden rods pointed all the time.
That's right. And we did that. We did that for a lot of years.
That's talent.
And I'd be sitting there with the doors open. You know, the horn would go off and the runners would start. And here comes Gary and here comes Cliff running in front of the runners. They dive into the back of Charlie's car and push the button. The door would come down because we had to stay ahead of those runners.
Sure.
They would get upset if we slowed down.
I ran the New York Marathon 7 times, and each time with equipment, and they followed me with a camera. Did the same thing. They had a guy in a sidecar with the rods, and then another guy in the other sidecar with the camera. And so I ran, but you know, the New Yorkers, they would jump in front of the motorcycle to get on camera while you're running. And in the infancy of that, I had to wear a battery pack. It was like, you know, those old battery packs they use for lights.
Yep, those big
Like,
antenna
like 12 pounds, 15 pound battery
Absolutely.
pack. I had to run with that, so you're running with 12 pounds. Then you had the big block cell phone.
Yep.
In those days, that was a big block, and that was attached to the battery pack. So that's how I talked to the station, and the camera was in the motorcycle. Then over the years, it just continued to develop better equipment, new stuff,
Technology,
wireless.
digital.
Yeah, digital really was and now here we are. We got a laptop, mic,
And I'm not running wires back into the telephone here.
Yeah,
You know, like the good old days with Paul and
How long
Joe
have you been
Riverhead.
here with the railroad?
I came in 1996, I guess.
Okay.
So coming on 30 years,
That's 30 years.
Yeah, love it. My son was the train guy at that time, and we started out at Greenport. And for those of you in the WLNG family, don't realize we really have 2 sites here in the North Fork. If you're out east, you can visit us in a 1892 Long Island Railroad freight station.
Yeah.
Right by the turnaround and the lineup for the Shelter Island Ferry. You come in there Saturdays and Sundays from 10:30 to 4:30, and that's the real museum. That's like the Smithsonian. That's where you go in and you see the history of railroading on Long Island at Greenport. And then you come to Riverhead to experience the interactive part. This is where you push the buttons. This is where you climb inside the rail car. This is where you can do all the neat things that you always wanted to do as a kid, and you can enjoy yourself here. So Riverhead and Greenport, 444th Street in Greenport, right by the Shelter Island Ferry, and 416 Griffin Avenue in Riverhead. We're open on the weekends through Columbus Day. Come on down, spend some time with us, and check out railroading on the North Shore. Now, I got to tell you about the Jay Leno book.
Yeah, what happened there? I did a show several times. We did the weather video a bunch of times.
Jay loves steam. He's got steam cars. He's got steam trucks. He's done a couple of videos about large steam locomotive engines. So our folks know Jay through the classic car.
Oh yeah, that's right. A lot of people know that.
Here on the East Coast, he's out of Rhode Island. So, you know, we've got a relationship through classic cars. And a plug again tomorrow for the Grizzle Terry Glover Post.
Yeah.
Jay would love to be there, I'm sure, to have a couple of his classics at the car show. In Southall tomorrow, Grizzle Terry Glover Post 303. But
I'd love to.
he can't be there tomorrow. He's out on the West Coast, where he has his own huge collection museum called Big Dog Garage. And that's where he keeps his collection of cars and maintains them. And he has been gracious enough to support this railroad museum and our efforts to restore steam locomotive engine 39, Long Island Railroad. The G5S was built in 1929. And we are working to raise a little over $1 million to restore it. It's going to run down to Strasburg, Pennsylvania. Well, Jay heard about this, and we talked with him, and he was gracious enough. He has donated a tour for 4 lucky people out here in WLNG land. 4 lucky people to go to LA and see his Big Dog Garage. And to have a tour through that.
Nice.
And what the Railroad Museum is doing as part of this drawing is we are providing you with 2 nights stay. Now you've got to get your way out there because this is going to be tremendous. You may be in California listening to us on the interwebs right now.
Yes, they are.
And you're gonna get a drawing ticket and you may win. So if you're in California, you may be able to drive over to Big Dog.
Oh, I have a friend, Michael, who comes out to Sag Harbor. He's from LA. He's in our business.
There you go. We'll have
And
to
Michael
talk about it.
lives in LA in the wintertime, and I know he's listening right now.
Well, here you go.
Yeah, you know what I did? I saw his wife in front of the radio station. They were walking by. They rent a house right by WLNG. And Michael and his wife are from Los Angeles. From Los Angeles. And they love WLNG. And so Michael was over here Riverhead, and I said, you got to stop by the train museum.
Cool.
And that was last weekend. It wasn't open last weekend. But he's coming over this weekend, and they would be interested in something like that. And I was just looking at flights to LA on 339. So there you go. You can fly right to Los Angeles and go.
People in the entire WLNG family could win, and they could be anywhere in the country. Some people don't like to fly; they like to take Amtrak.
So that's true.
You know, we don't know how you're going to get there, but if you win on December 14th, we're going to have the drawing for 2 nights in LA and a tour of the Big Dog Garage. The Big Dog Garage. Jay Leno's Big Dog Garage for 4 lucky people.
Oh, this is good.
The drawing chance is 39.39. Now, why 39.39? Because
Why 39.39?
it's Long Island Railroad, engine 39 that we're trying to restore.
That's right.
So, we're making 39 the big number here. So, for 39.39, you can write in, we'll send you a ticket. You can go on our website, go to our donation page. You hit 39.39, give us your name, your address, your phone number. We'll send you the ticket. We will mail it to you. And you will be in a drawing on December 14th.
Oh,
and
that's nice.
you may win for yourself and 3 other lucky WLNG listeners a tour of Jay Leno's Big Dog Garage. Now, you got to get there. But we'll put you up for 2 nights, and you're gonna see Jay's collection, and we love Jay and his support for steam locomotives and for this particular engine 39. We really appreciate his support and thank him for this great donation. And just www.rmli.us. Hit the donate button, and when you go to the page, hit 39.39. That'll pay for your drawing ticket.
There you go.
Name, address, and phone number, and I will mail you personally a ticket. And then you'll be in the drawing for December 14th. Jay Leno's Big Dog Garage.
That's great. We want to make that happen. We want to redo that locomotive, get it refurbished, get it back in operation.
And if you're out and about, you can come here today or tomorrow. There goes that train. There goes that train. Oh yeah, it's a full train of happy people. They're smiling, they're waving to us. You can come down here today before 4 o'clock and get your ticket yourself. You can fill it out, put it in the drum. Tomorrow, 10 to 4.
And that's a real safe train. That's not like the 7 train or the D train.
No. This goes at a walk so that you can see the entire yard, all of the exhibits, the train layouts that are set up special this weekend, the vendor tent. As you go around, you're going around just a little bit more than a walk. You're not running like Bill was in the New York Marathon.
No.
You're going at a nice pace.
It was a little more of a walk, actually. Me.
No, you were running. Even with that 12-pound Anton Bauer battery, I know you were running.
Huge. Yeah.
You're in good shape, Bill.
But this is great. Yeah.
So you can come down, you can ride the train, you can see the historic liner layout behind Bill and behind me here. Go in and push the 88 buttons. You can see the vendors, you can see all the other train layouts, you can go in the simulator, the caboose. You can get a tour of our collection of big train cars across the street. See Long Island Railroad's SW1001-101. This came out Thursday night. It's here. Thank you to the MTA and the Long Island Railroad for providing this beautifully painted locomotive. It's just freshly painted. It's like brand new out of the factory. And you can see that going RM1. There goes the train.
It's not like the double R when they tell you to sit down and
No, we tell them that before we get them on the coaches. But and while you're
punch
here,
your ticket.
While you're here, you can come in and get your drawing ticket for 4. Go to LA and see Jay Leno's fantastic collection. That's your assignment. That's your homework assignment for today and tomorrow.
Website again is
www.rmli.org. Hit the donate button and $39.39. Give us your name, your address, your phone number. I will personally send you your ticket in the mail.
There you go.
You'll do it. Drawing.
Don is the best. Don Fisher is the best. Now you miss all of that. You can always email us, call us at the radio station. We will forward you in that direction.
That too.
Me, Bill at WLNG.com. We'll do it.
And at RMLI.org, you can email us. At info.
Yes.
You want information? We've got it. info@rmli.org.
Good job, Don. We're going to be here till 3. You're going to hang out some more.
I'll probably be back. Yeah. And it's always a pleasure to be with the crew from WLNG.
It's nice, Don. Good job.
All right, we're back for the second day here at the Railroad Festival here at the Railroad Museum of Long Island Riverhead, just to get an overview of what we have here. I'm going to be taking a quick look here at the stuff. Obviously, these are the vendor tables over here, with everybody talking over here. This gives us an idea of what we have going on. The various stuff that the guys are selling. How are you today?
Good.
So we got all the stuff over here that we are selling. And the other vendors are selling. The race of the locomotives right over here. We're going to look at the Sunrise High Railers group. I'm not sure what this group is over here, but they're running their little trolleys over here. And this is the HO Skill group, Hot Tracks. All right, taking a look here at the GP38-2 cab, which was donated to the Railroad Museum of Long Island. Inside we have a simulator, which generally we run the G539 simulator, which is part of the Railroad Museum of Long Island. And this is a former Long Island Railroad caboose that the museum keeps in pretty good shape. This is an N22 bay window caboose. Retired from the railroad in the 1970s. Hey, in this tent over here, we have the various organizations here. The one closest to me is the Long Island chapter of the Pennsylvania Railroad Technical and Historical Society. We have the Steam Up 39 right over there. Over here at the very end, we have the Long Island Sunrise Trail chapter of the NRHS. We're taking a look here at the Cotton Railroad. We have the Long Island Garden Society, Cotton Railroad Society working on it today. As they've been donating their time to help us out here at the Railroad Museum of Long Island all weekend long. And the Long Island Antique Association donated this old Willys for the weekend. Former fire unit here. All right, we're in the Long Island Railroad Museum of Long Island's Lionel Visitor Center, which we're going to be going inside right now. This layout was donated to the Railroad Museum of Long Island from Lionel. And this building, which used to be part of the lumber place, became part of the Railroad Museum of Long Island, opened up in 2013. And we're taking a brief look at it. So take a look over here. These are the various buttons that the visitor here can push to get some action going on here. Never mind the fact that we also have different various models of Long Island Railroad stuff that ran. And stuff that Lionel even donated to us here at the Railroad Museum. Of course, the different archives were donated, and you can see the different phases of delivery and reconstruction of this layout, including events that will be occurring at the Railroad Museum. And of course, on this wall over here, some of the archives do change. Part of the many faces to run our visitor center layout here. There's Paul right over there, Bill over there, Mike in the background, Dennis, and Will. And of course, there's the controls of our layout here at the Railroad Museum of Long Island. All right, we're on the western side here, taking a look at the historical equipment that's here in the yard. And we have Lynn over here, that's one of the tour guides of the M1s that were retired by the Long Island Railroad back in 2006. Lynn, you have anything to say to our YouTube viewers?
Yeah, have a good time. My baby, M1, the early 70s. They retired 2006. Like me, I'm old. It's the greatest thing that could happen. You go down and you learn a lot of stuff.
Okay, so that's what you hear from Lynn over here. All right, we're taking a look inside the M1 car built by Bud. This particular car, number 954847, was built and placed in service in 1971. So we're going to take a walk into it. Of course, the one noticeable thing that these cars always had, as the current M3s do, was the ripped seats. Now, of course, these cars are not powered right now because there's no third rail. There may be something in the works to get these cars powered up with just at least the lights. Of course, the lavatory in here in the odd number car. And let us also not forget the opaque windows. Taking a brief look inside the controls of car number 9547. And we're looking at former P72 coach number 2924, painted in the 9/11 tribute. And along with that is one of the former baggage mail cars here. You see the tender over here of G5S 10-wheeler number 39 as the boiler was sent out to Strasbourg awaiting donation. Thanks to a good crew of people, we have RS3 number 1556 painted, still getting more paint, but it's being painted to its blue and yellow scheme that was the last scheme before the Long Island Railroad retired it when the GP 38-2s came in 1977. We see another former baggage car that is being used as tool storage. And we see General Electric 25-ton at number 399 still waiting its decaling. Sisters 398, 397 belong to the Oyster Bay Museum. This one is actually fully functional and can go make some forward movements and some reverse movements if upon need. And this is a very unique coach over here. This is double-decker number 200, which was donated to the Railroad Museum at its very first beginnings. This car ran an electric train service and was retired when the M1s came onto the property starting in 1968. This car is awaiting funding to remove the asbestos on the floors. We have some of the other equipment here that's owned by our sister organizations. We have the boxcar over here. We have the two cabooses over here, former Mopac cabooses. We have the B&M car, which is owned by the Twin Forks chapter of the National Railway Historical Society. A couple of former Long Island Railroad bay window cabooses, number 63 and 64, also owned by the Twin Forks chapter of the NRHS. We have a Jordan spreader, W93. It can operate as long as you have a air compressor or locomotive supplying the power to get the wings out. In the background, kind of out of view, but kind of in view, are two other P72 coaches, number 2935 and 2956, formerly owned by Oyster Bay, now owned by the Twin Forks chapter of the NRHS. Totally out of view is another baggage mail combined, which is owned by the Oyster Bay Railroad Museum. Townhouse 308, watching train show here for the Railroad Museum of Long Island's Rail Fest. Bye.